Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. This video, I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible because it's basically impossible. But this is the video talking about the pros of Jolly Roger and why I feel like it's a good thing for PvP. Now, before I hit the dislike, I'm going to explain basically what Jolly Roger is, why people don't like it, and then my personal thoughts on why I think it's a cool idea for PvP. These are my personal thoughts. I'm not trying to force you to play Jolly Roger. Maybe changes will come by the end of Legion Beta, where Jolly Roger will become some kind of different buff. Maybe it'll be fixed, but I feel like it's a cool buff, and I feel like it has its own merit for PvP. So please, before I hit the dislike, please listen out to me. Before you go ahead, dislike, or listen out to me, actually download PTR. The pre-patch for Legion is up. I'll leave instructions in description as best as I can. All my IT prowess right then and there. To tell you guys how to download PTR for yourselves. All the class changes are on PTR. It's made for pre-patch for Legion. You don't have artifact weapons, and you don't have full PvP talents, but all the other changes are there. So have fun, go play it, and join the fun. If you want to play something OP, I suggest Assassination Rogues, Marksman Hunters, and Fury Warriors. Alright, let's get on to the video. So what is Roll the Bones? It is basically a different variation of Slice and Dice. If you ever played a Rogue, Slice and Dice is an iconic ability. You build up common points, you put up Slice and Dice, now you have 40% increased attack speed. And for subtlety, you get extra energy. So Rogue and Slice and Dice has been like a close combo. The auto attacks, the faster auto attacks, using the daggers, poking the enemy, has always been an iconic thing. But they replaced for Outlaw a Slice and Dice with a Roll the Bones. Slice and Dice is now a talent for 100% attack speed. But Roll the Bones reads off this. It can give you between 1 and 6 buffs, and works just like Slice and Dice. So depending on how many comp points you invest into it, is how long the buffs are going to last. It can give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 buffs at all. The buffs are Jolly Roger, which heals you for 3% every second. Grand Melee, which gives you 40% attack speed, so basically Slice and Dice of Warlord's Draenor. Shark Infested Waters, which gives you a flat 40% extra crit. True Bearing, which will give you cooldown reductions on most of your abilities, a bit beefier version of Ruthlessness. By the way, Ruthlessness is gone from Outlaw. Well, not really. The effect of cooldown reduction is there. Buried Treasure, you get 40% increased base energy regeneration. And Broadsides, every single ability that is used to build common points will now build an extra common point. Now, on a first look, those are actually pretty cool buffs, but the issues that people have had in PvP with them is, one, the RNG components of Roll the Bones aren't consistent for PvP, at least for situations that you're looking for. And second, it should be replaced with something more consistent. So yeah, or Roll the Bones technically, let's say you're trying to kill a healer or a Death Knight, and you have your cooldowns, you have your abilities, you're ready to go, you need some damage and buffs, but you keep rolling Jolly Roger over and over and over with Roll the Bones. Now that is not unlikely. I've been in situations where I'm just getting a buff that I don't really need, whether it be offensive or defensive buff, and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's awesome when you get all the buffs you want, you know, it's great, but you don't always get that, and so consistency for Roll the Bones is kind of lacking. So that's completely understandable. And another thing people said, maybe we should replace it with something like Tiger's Fury, and Tiger's Fury is basically a Feral-based ability. And this is how Pharaohs basically get their, like, a Slice and Dice, or how they manage their energy, and it could be something cool for Outlaw. Basically, Tiger's Fury, 30-second cooldown. It gives the Pharaoh 50% extra damage for 8 seconds once you use it, and instantly gets you 60 energy. So it's basically how you kind of manage it whenever you burst, whenever you don't. So you don't have to rely on, like, some RNG buffs. You kind of do get control of them, but you get control of them for a short moment. So it's all about being able to use the most out of the buffs given once you get them. So some people thought maybe they should do that, but there's definitely a lot of people saying there needs to be something known about Roll the Bones. It's not that great, it's not that good for PvP, it's too inconsistent, and it's not that fun. And some people are saying they just start to feel suicidal after getting wrong buffs over and over and over again. Completely understandable. But I feel like Roll the Bones is a cool ability, and I'm actually pro Roll the Bones. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think what it offers is a lot more than the negatives that it brings out, I guess, is the best way to put it. So why am I pro Roll the Bones? Well, first of all, I think all the buffs Roll the Bones provides are an enhanced version of some sort of buffs, or at least they are look enhanced in Legion. Jolly Roger is your on-demand, well, I guess on an RNG chance, but could be your trusty second wind, if you remember that from Pandaria. Warriors just never died with second wind. It's 2% healing every second. Are you kidding me? For 40 seconds? Dude, it heals for more than Crimson Vial. Grand Melee. There's not a lot of classes that have attack speed increase. The one that does, and big on it, are Fury Warriors and maybe Enhancement Shamans. But I know Fury Warriors take more damage because they need to be enraged for increased attack speed. Outlaw Rogues don't need to take more damage, but the attack speed isn't quite as high as 100. Shark Infested Waters is a lot like another warrior ability, Battle Cry, where for 5 seconds, warriors get 100% crit. And the ability has a 1 minute cooldown. For Outlaw, you just need to roll a lucky bone, and you get Shark Infested Waters, 40% crit, without having to have 1 minute cooldown, and it can last way longer than 5 seconds. True Bearing. Oh my god, the change from Ruthlessness is so good. Let me read you some of the abilities it can reduce the cooldowns off. It's a lot too, so bear with me. Adrenaline Rush, Sprint, Between the Eyes, which is your range stun, Vanish, Blind, Cloak of Shadows, Riposte, which is your new evasion, Grappling Hook, Cannonball Barrage, Killing Spree, Mark for Death, Death from Above. And it shaves off the cooldowns of all those abilities by not 2 but 3 seconds per comp point spent. Whoa, Dallor, whoa, you're going crazy. 3 comp points? You're probably making fun of me right now, but that basically comes out to, for a 10 comp point, let's say run through, it will shave off 15 seconds rather than 10. Now combine that with all the other abilities that allow you to generate comp points, like your artifact weapon, Saber Slash Run Through, Saber Slash Run Through. Throw together Adrenaline Rush in there to get even like 40% CD reduction on all your abilities once you use Adrenaline Rush. And just pop all your cooldowns. So you have defensives up, offensives up, and you're just refreshing them over and over and over. You're literally an unstoppable machine. Melees can't touch you. Casters can't hit you. You are healing non-stop. You are a monster while you have this buff. And it's an insane buff. That is basically how it bursts as an Outlaw Rogue with True Bearing. It is insane. It is literally fucking bananas. This buff is amazing. It is such a different cooldown because all the other classes are just about, hey, more damage or more haste or more mastery or next spell you hit is going to hit harder. But here you just cooldown reduction. You get to use your cooldowns way more often. And that's basically what combat rogues have been known for with Ruthlessness in PvE concepts. They just use their cooldowns left and right, just non-stop circulating through it. So the fact that we will be doing that in PvP is really cool and very interesting. But to go on with other buffs, you have Buried Treasure, which is 40% increased energy regen, so almost like an Adrenaline Rush kind of deal. I don't know many abilities that do have energy regeneration besides Adrenaline Rush, so that is very unique compared to other classes in the game overall. And then you have Broadsides, 1 CP extra generation for your class. The only other class I know that has like more than 1 comp point generation, actually Rogue, this is the only one, the specs of Subtlety and Assassination. Assassination gets comp points on crits, so it's not reliable, but crits can happen from time to time, and they're kind of nice surprise, but you don't really need that. Subtlety, when you use Shadow Blades, you generate extra combo points. That's a 3-minute cooldown, plus shadow damage, but the extra combo point generation is a 3-minute cooldown that an Outlaw Rogue can get as a random roll the bone dice. So yeah, the dice are random, but when you do get the buffs, they're pretty fucking cool. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Excuse my language, but it's just like, I think they're great. I think they're awesome. Like, it's kind of worth it. And I guess this is the best theory of why Roll the Bones kind of works for PvP. Because technically, as an Outlaw Rogue, if you get a True Bearing over and over and over, you can literally burst 24/7. If you can guarantee yourself somehow that every single time you roll the bones for 5 combo points and you get True Bearing, technically you can have your defensives and offensives up the whole time with your artifact weapon, Saber Slash Run Through in everybody while healing yourself non-stop. It's insane. Like, you can technically burst 24/7. You can have your burst whenever you want to. You just gotta get the right buff, and that's it. You're going off. So I guess the best way to put Roll the Bones, it's almost like some kind of a safeguard. While other classes have a cooldown to watch out for all their main abilities, an Outlaw Rogue has a different safeguard. Instead of having like a cooldown, you basically put like a tennis ball in a dog's dish. And a lot of pet owners will know this trick. If your pet is eating way too quickly, like a big dog just eats way too quickly and there's some indigestion problems, if you put a tennis ball in their dish, it kind of slows down the eating process. So with Outlaw Rogues, they can technically burst 24/7, but this tennis ball in the dish, where you don't really know what buff you're going to get and it's all at random, slows down the times when we burst. So instead of having to think of your burst as like, oh, Adrenaline Rush is a 2-minute cooldown, oh, Mark for Death is a 1-minute cooldown. Cooldown literally stops having all meaning to you as an Outlaw Rogue. At least it stopped having any meaning for me. I don't even think of abilities in terms of cooldowns. I'm just thinking, when is True Bearing up? Once True Bearing is up, I'm all go. So it's kind of like an interesting mechanic, just an interesting way of thinking about it. So maybe this thought process might have gotten you guys to see what I mean, why I'm pro Roll the Bones. But again, we'll see in the future. I can definitely understand why people would be uncomfortable with the ability. I think it offers a lot more. And basically, the way I look at the ability is not like, hey, I made a situation, let's roll the bones for the buff. It's more like, hey, the situation has started, let's roll the bones to see how I'm going to handle it. Do I get a heal? That means I can stay in there. Do I get broadsides, buried treasure, maybe grand melee? That means I need to get on somebody to start generating common points. Do I get true bearing? Let's burst. Do I get buried treasure? That means I can have a lot of energy regen, so I can pistol shot a target from way further away and just keep pistol shotting over and over and over and hope that'll be alright. So I feel like Roll the Bones basically tells you how can you handle a situation based on the buffs that you get. Not exactly of, let me set up a situation and then let Roll the Bones amplify what I'm trying to do. And hopefully, guys, you understand what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you have been keeping up with me, because I put a lot of thought into Roll the Bones and how I feel about it. I think it's a cool ability. I think it deserves a solid try from a lot of players. I think it's awesome. I think it's very unique to the game, and I think it makes the game a little bit more exciting, because there's way too many predetermined factors in WoW already. Your raids are on a what is it? Deadly boss mods. They tell you exactly what is happening. You do when each attack will happen. This boss will do a certain ability on this moment. This certain phase is going to happen in the game at this moment. This Shadow Priest is going to use his cooldowns at this moment. There's like so much predictability, and that's why I like WoW PvP. I like WoW PvP because of this factor of unpredictability. And this Roll the Bones gives you this factor of unpredictability because you're able to react to the situation, and it's exciting. It's just seeing how do you react to the game. But that's just my personal thoughts and just how I feel about WoW PvP and kind of why I play WoW PvP in general. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm running out of breath. It took me a while to make this video because there's a lot to get through, and this is literally as short as I can get it. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's probably going to be another Legion video or another PTR video in the future. Thank you again. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I really do want to hear your guys' thoughts. I do want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about it? Counterpoints, agree, disagree, whatever. I do care, because it's a spec that I want to be good. And if you guys have a better idea of how you can make the spec better, why not do it? I am fine with being wrong. I'm fine with, fine with admitting defeat. Like, yeah, if you guys have a better idea for Roll the Bones or better cooldown, do it. It's only going to make Outlaw stronger. Thank you. I'll see you guys next video.